Hello and welcome all of you once again. Let's continue with our next topic from the Unit 4, and probably this is the last point we are discussing from the Unit 4 because the remaining part already we have discussed. So today we will discuss about the remaining deadlock handling strategies. As in the previous lecture we have discussed the first two deadlock handling strategies. In that we have discussed deadlock prevention and the deadlock avoidance. Okay. So today we'll discuss the remaining two, that is the deadlock detection and the recovery and the deadlock ignorance. Okay. So as you know, yesterday's in the previous lecture we have discussed about how you can handle the deadlock using the deadlock prevention. Where we have discussed you have to just violate or the dissatisfy the remaining whatever the four conditions are there which are responsible for the deadlock. And if you can dissatisfy the any of the condition out of that four, then you can prevent the deadlock. Where in case of the deadlock avoidance, we have discussed you can avoid the deadlock with the help of some uh, specific algorithm, and that algorithm is nothing but the banker's algorithm, using which you can avoid the deadlock before it occurs. Okay, that part yesterday in the yesterday lecture we have discussed. Okay, so today we have to discuss regarding the remaining two deadlock handling strategies. In that, first is the deadlock detection and the recovery, and second as a we have the deadlock ignorance. Okay, so let's discuss first the deadlock detection and the recovery. Then we'll discuss regarding the deadlock ignorance. Okay, now the as if you compare the previous two techniques with these techniques, now in case of the in this technique deadlock detection, the approach apply is nothing but not related with the preventing the deadlock or avoiding the deadlock, etc. Here this technique works when the deadlock has already occurred. Okay, so in this approach the operating system does not apply any mechanism to avoid or prevent the deadlock. Okay, so this particular approach consider that the deadlock has already occurred, or deadlock will occur, or deadlock has already occurred. So in order to get rid of the deadlock, operating system periodically check the system for the deadlock. Understood? So in case of the previous two approach we have seen, we try to prevent or avoid the deadlock, but in this case we are not going to prevent or avoid the deadlock, but we'll consider, we'll predict that in the system deadlock will definitely going to be occur, or deadlock has already occurred. So that kind of consideration we are going to utilize in this approach. And the operating system then periodically, time to time, used to check the system whether deadlock has occurred or the not. And that is nothing but the case as a, or the approach as a deadlock detection. So in this case, the operating system never try to avoid or prevent the deadlock, but the operating system always check whether deadlock is been happen or not, or operating system time to time check the system for occurrence of the deadlock. Okay, and in case the operating system find that that deadlock has occurred, then operating system apply the deadlock recovery techniques. So that is the approach we are having, that's the deadlock detection as compared with our previous two technique. So main task of the operating system here is nothing but the detection of the deadlock. Okay, the third approach is nothing but what? Detection of the deadlock. Understood? And operating system utilize the different techniques to detect the deadlock. Understood? So there are the various cases for the detection of the deadlock. Operating system utilize the resource allocation graph in order to do the detection of the deadlock. So that everything we are going to see. So first thing that you must understood how this approach is different from the previous two approach. Previous two approach in the sense deadlock prevention we have discussed, then deadlock ignorance, sorry, deadlock avoidance we have discussed, Now in the both of that previous two cases, we will operating system time to try to avoid or prevent the deadlock. Means operating system try to avoid or prevent the deadlock, in the sense operating system will take care that deadlock should not happen. Understood? But in this case, or in this approach, operating system don't apply any mechanism or technique to avoid or prevent the deadlock. Operating system simply consider that in the future the deadlock is definitely going to be occur, and then operating system in this approach thinks that if the deadlock occurs, then the techniques of the recovery will be applied to recover from the deadlock. Understood? So in order to recover from the deadlock, first it is the necessary thing that the deadlock should be get detected. Okay. So that is the third approach where the deadlock detection is happen. So main task of the operating system in this approach is nothing but what? Detection of the deadlock, and it is done by the operating system by periodically checking the computer system, time to time checking the computer system for the deadlock. Okay. Now how the deadlock can be get detected? Now for that purpose we have to see the some techniques are there. So in that technique there is a utilization of resource allocation graph is utilized. Resource allocation graph also I will show you. Okay. So the as I said, the main task of the operating system here is nothing but the detection of the deadlock. So generally detection of the deadlock is being done in the with the help of the two cases. Okay. So deadlock detection can be done when there are the single instances of each resource type are available, and deadlock detection can be done in the second case where there are the multiple instances of each resource type are available. Okay. Single instances of each resource type in the sense, for example, printer. So printer is one resource. So there is a only one printer, that is nothing but the single instance of each resource type. There is a what? Only one printer is available, that is nothing but the single instance of each resource type. And if there are the 10 printers are available, then it means multiple instances of each resource type. For example, resource we take the printer. If 10 printers are available, that is come under the second case, multiple instances of each resource type. Okay. So with the help of these two cases, the deadlock detection is being done. So deadlock detection is done in these two cases. In first case, where the consideration is done on the single instance of each resource type, where in the second case, multiple instances are considered. Understood? So in these two cases, the deadlock detection is done. Where in the first case, where the single instances of each resource type is there, in that case, detection of cycle is done. Means detection of cycle, whether it is a present or absent. If the cycle is present in the resource allocation graph, I will show you that with the example. If the cycle is present in the resource allocation graph, it means the deadlock is present. Understood? If cycle is not present, then deadlock is not there. Understood? That is being done in first case where there is a single instances of each resource type. Where second case, multiple instance of each resource type, in that case the safety algorithm is applied. Okay. That is the safety algorithm related with the bankers algorithm is applied. Okay. And with the help of the safety algorithm, if the system is in the safe state or unsafe state, that is get determined. So if according to the safety algorithm system is in the safe state, then deadlock is not there. Understood? But if the according to the safety algorithm the system is in the unsafe state, then definitely deadlock is there. Understood? So this approach is applied for the deadlock detection. So let's see in the details case by case. So first case, as I told you, okay, case one, where we have to consider, or the operating system consider, there are the single instance of each resource type is available. Okay. So already I explained you, in this case, for the deadlock detection, we can run an algorithm to check for the cycle in the resource allocation graph. So this is the resource allocation graph where there are the two resources are available and two processes are available, where process 1 is holding the resource 1 and process 2 is holding the resource 2, where process 1 is waiting for the resource 2, where the process 2 is waiting for the resource 1. So presence of cycle in this graph is the sufficient condition for the deadlock detection. So you can see there is a cycle, present of cycle is there in this resource allocation graph. This is your resource allocation graph for certain resources and the process. So here you can easily see there is a presence of cycle in this resource allocation graph. So in this graph, you can see the resource 1 and the resource 2 are the single instances available. Understood? And so you can see there is a cycle like R1 to P1. Okay, R1 to P1. Like I can show you here R1 to P1, then P1 to R2, then R2 to P2, and again P2 to R1, P2 to R1. Okay, so there is a cycle present. Okay, there is a cycle present in this resource allocation graph, which confirm that there is a deadlock is there, which confirm that there is a presence of deadlock. Understood? So with the help of this resource allocation graph, we can confirm whether there is a presence of deadlock or not. How we can confirm? If the cycle is present like this, then we can confirm that there is a presence of deadlock. And that is our case one for the deadlock detection, where in the case one, what we are considering, if resource is having the single instance. Here resource is having the single instance, there is a only one resource, only one instance of resource one, and there is a only one instance of resource two. Means you can consider this as a printer, as a single instance is available, and this as a, you can consider as a scanner, of which the single instance is available. Understood? Means only one printer is available, only one scanner is available. Understood? So that is our first case. And in the first case, you can see how we have detected the deadlock. We have detected the deadlock with the help of the resource allocation graph. So in the if in the resource allocation graph there is a presence of cycle, then we can confirm that the deadlock is occurred. Okay, now so let's see the second case. So second case, in the second case we are going to consider multiple instances of resources. Understood? So in the previous slide already I told you what do we mean by the single instance of resource and what do we mean by the multiple instances of resource. Okay, so here we are going to consider the multiple instances of resource. Understood? Multiple instances of resource in the sense there might be a presence of suppose one resource is printer, another resource is a scanner. Okay, another resource you can consider as a CPU. So there are the 10 scanners are present, printer are present, there are the 5 scanners are present, there are the two CPUs are present. That is nothing but the consider as a multiple instances of resources. So for the printer, multiple instances are 10, for scanner 5, for CPU 2. Okay. So in this case, in multiple instance resource type, the detection, now in this case only using the detection of the cycle, okay, is not enough for the deadlock detection. Okay, so in this case, along with the cycle, along with the cycle also we have to confirm the other things also, and by confirming that other things, then only we can confirm that whether deadlock has occurred or not. Okay, so regarding that, now what another thing that we have to confirm? Okay, what another thing that we have to confirm in case of multiple instances of resource type? Okay, so as I said here, only detection of the cycle, which is not enough here for the deadlock detection. Now in case of the case one, detection of the cycle was enough for the deadlock detection. But here, in case of the multiple instance of resources, single instance of cycle, the presence of the cycle is not enough. Okay. So here then what extra thing we have to apply for the deadlock detection? So as I said, here we have to apply the safety algorithm. What? We have to apply the safety algorithm on the system by utilizing the or converting the resource allocation graph into the allocation matrix and the request matrix. Okay. So the we have to apply, in short, we have to apply the Banker's algorithm. In the last lecture also I told you about the Banker's algorithm, and in the physically practical we have conducted that time also in details we have discussed regarding the Banker's algorithm. So along with the detection of the cycle, we have to apply the safety algorithm in the second case where we are considering the multiple instance of resources. Now, what exactly is the Banker's algorithm? So as already in the last lecture, I told you the Banker's algorithm, how it works. Okay. In case of the deadlock avoidance, I told you. So computer system has to maintain some database where it contains the information regarding the process, how many process has created, what is the requirement of that process, in the sense how many resources that process is requiring, how many resources already allocated to that process, what how many resources are available, what is the remaining need of that process for the resources, that all the information has to be stored. Okay. And Banker's algorithm refer this information. Okay. And then Banker's algorithm check if the resources is applied to some, if the resources is allocated to some process, whether system will remain in the safe state or unsafe state. So that Banker's algorithm can tell us by applying some resources to the process or by allocating the some resource to the process whether our system will remain in the safe state or the unsafe state. So that particular information is given by the Banker's algorithm. So by allocating some resource to the process, if system is remaining in the safe state according to the Banker's algorithm, then the Banker's algorithm permit the allocation of the resource to the process. Okay. But if the Banker's algorithm think that the system will remain unsafe if you allocate some resource to the process, then in that case detection of the deadlock is being get done. So here Banker's algorithm is applied for the deadlock detection. So when a new process is created in the computer system, the process must provide all type of information to the operating system. All type of information like the upcoming processes, request, how many resources will be required for that processes. Okay. Then all this kind of information must be provided by that process, okay, to the operating system. Understood? And based on this information, based on this criteria, the operating system decide which process sequence should be executed, means to which process the resources should be get allocated and which process should be put in the waiting queue. Okay. So that the deadlock in the system will not occur, and all these things being done by the operating system with the help of the Banker's algorithm. So that is the reason Banker's algorithm is applied for the deadlock detection. Now Banker's algorithm is applied, and Banker's algorithm will tell us whether the system will remain in the safe state or the unsafe state. So if the Banker's algorithm tells us the system will remain in the unsafe state, then it means the deadlock detection has been done. If the algorithm tells us that system will remain in the safe state, then the resources can be allocated, and it means the system will not go into the deadlock. So there we can take the help of there the operating system take the help of the Banker's algorithm for the deadlock detection. Okay. So here that is the reason the Banker's algorithm is also known as the deadlock avoidance algorithm that we have discussed in the previous lecture, or it can be also called as a deadlock detection in the operating system. Why it can be considered the deadlock detection algorithm? Because it tells us by it tells us with the help of its algorithmic strategy whether your system will remain in the safe state or the unsafe state. And if this algorithm tells us your system will remain in the unsafe state, then it simply means that the deadlock detection has been done. So that is the reason the Banker's algorithm is also referred as a deadlock detection algorithm in case of the operating system. Understood? Now, so in case of the Banker's algorithm, the different kind of information required. Okay, so here I have mentioned when working with the Banker's algorithm, it requests to know about the four different kind of things. So Banker's algorithm requires the different kind of information. That information I have mentioned here, like it require the how much each process can request for the resource in the system, that is being maintained with the help of one matrix that is called as the max request matrix. Means how much resources the particular process can request, that is the maximum resources that can be required by that particular process, that is maintained with the help of the max request matrix. Then allocation resource matrix is also maintained, where It contains the information like how much each process is currently holding the each resource in the system. Currently, if there are the 5 processes are there, then that 5 processes are currently holding how many resources. So that information is maintained in the allocation resource matrix. Okay. Then regarding how many resources are currently available, so that is being maintained with the help of the available resource matrix. It represents the number of each resource currently available in the system. And then last kind of matrix, that is a need matrix, where the information is represented regarding what is the remaining need of resources of each process. In the sense, if there is a process P1 and process P1 currently allocated the 2 resource, then how many other extra resource it can require? What is their remaining need of the process P1? So that is being maintained by the need matrix. So it is M by N matrix sequence representing number of remaining need of resource for each process. How many remaining resources can be required by that particular process? That information is maintained in the need matrix. Okay. So bankers algorithm, with the help of these 4 different kind of matrix information like max matrix, allocation matrix, available resource matrix, and the need resource matrix, the bankers algorithm works, and bankers algorithm try to predict whether the system will be in the safe state or system will be in the unsafe state. And according to that, bankers algorithm does the detection of the deadlock. When the system goes into the unsafe state, it means the deadlock has been get detected, and that kind of information is given by the bankers algorithm. So in case of the multiple instances of resources, in case of the multiple instances of resources, just detection of the cycle is not enough, but along with the detection of the cycle, bankers algorithm we have to apply. And in the bankers algorithm we apply the safety algorithm. What we apply? Safety algorithm. That safety algorithm in the next slide we'll discuss. So that safety algorithm will tell us whether the system is remain the safe state or the unsafe state. So this is the general overview of the safety algorithm I have shown you. In the practical session also we have discussed it with the example. Okay. So this is the safety algorithm. With the help of that, bankers algorithm tell us whether system remain in the safe state or in the unsafe state. So what exactly is this safety algorithm? So in the pseudocode I have mentioned, if need is less than available, means if remaining need of required resources for the process is less than available resource, then execute process. Execute process in the sense, allocate the resources to the process. That is meaning of the execute process. Okay. And after allocating the resource to the process, again calculate new available resources. And how to calculate the new available resources? That is available resources plus the resources which are being allocated. Understood? If this is not the case, if this is not the case, then else, if need is greater than the available, then then go to the else part and do not execute and go forward. So only with the help of this simple algorithm, that is, this is called as a safety algorithm, the bankers algorithm will tell us whether system in the safe state or the unsafe state. Okay. And if the system is in the unsafe state, it means the deadlock get detected. So these are the 2 approach for the deadlock detection. One approach is regarding the single instances of each resource type, and second approach is regarding the multiple instance of each resource type, where in the single instances, if the cycle is detected in the resource allocation graph, then we can say the deadlock has been detected. And in case of the second approach, where the multiple instance of each resource type, along with the cycle detection, that we have to apply the bankers algorithm, and in that bankers algorithm we apply the safety algorithm, where that safety algorithm will tell us whether system is in the system, whether in the system deadlock is there or not. Okay. Now that is the first thing we have discussed, and that is the third deadlock handling strategies. That is nothing but the called as a deadlock detection. Now last our so in the deadlock, after the deadlock detection, what can be done? So after the deadlock detection, the operating system has to go for the recovery from the deadlock. So that is the second stage in the deadlock detection and the recovery. That is the second stage in the deadlock handling strategy in case of the our deadlock detection and the recovery. So after the deadlock get detected, next stage is nothing but the recovery from the deadlock. Okay. So here I have mentioned When a detection algorithm determines that the deadlock exists, then there are the several available alternatives are available. Okay. So when the deadlock is get detected, then there are the different approaches can be applied. Okay. Different approaches in the sense the operating system may allow the computer system to recover from the deadlock automatically, or operating system may allow the computer system to recover from the deadlock manually. Okay. Accordingly, there are the two options are there which are being used to recover from the deadlock. Here I have mentioned there are the two options that are mainly used to break the deadlock or to get the recovery from the deadlock. Okay. So in order to recover the system from the deadlock, the operating system consider at the resource level, or the operating system consider at the process level. Understood? So recovery from the deadlock is done by the operating system at the two levels. Okay, so after the detection of the deadlock, recovery from the deadlock can be done by the operating system at the two level. So first level is at the process level and second level is at the resource level. Understood? So at the process level, uh, killing of the process, one process at a time is done. That in the detail we'll see. Also, that is the first case in case of the process level. First case is what? Killing the one process at a time. Okay, until the deadlock is not get eliminated. And second approach in the process level is what? Eliminating or aborting all the deadlock process. That is the second approach in case of the process level. Now at the resource level, preemption strategy can be applied for the recovery from the deadlock. Preemption strategy in the sense forcefully taking the resources from the particular process. That is the first case. And at the second level, that is the resource level recovery from the deadlock, second approach can be applied. That is nothing but the roll back to the previous state or roll back to the previous safe state. Understood? So that deadlock recovery can be done. So after the deadlock detection, the operating system consider the two levels for the recovery from the deadlock. One level is the process level, another level is at the resource level. Okay, so let's see it in the detail. Okay, so recovery from the deadlock for the process level means recovery from the deadlock by taking the help of the process or by applying some strategies or the operation of the process. So recovery from the deadlock at the process level. So first case in that is the killing a process. What? Killing a process. Killing a process in the sense kill a single process at a time. So killing a process can solve our problem, but uh, here problem is that now when the deadlock occur, there is a multiple process are there in the system. Then out of that multiple process, which process to be killed first? That is the most important decision has to be taken at this level. So killing a process can solve a problem. So first case is what? Killing a single process at a time. Now in this case, the difficulty is what? Which process to be killed first? So for that purpose, these different criteria can be applied related with the killing the process. So what criteria can be applied to kill a certain process? So criteria one is that low priority process will be killed first. So if there are the two process P1 and the P2, and in that P1 is having the less priority as compared to the P2, then P1 will be killed first. Understood? That is the one approach criteria. Next approach that can be applied to decide which process to be killed first, that is the percentage of process completion. That is what? The percentage of process completion means there are the two process P1 and the P2. P1 has completed 75% and P2 has completed 61%. Then which one can be killed first? P2 can be killed first because P1 has completed most of its work as compared with the P2. So that is the second criteria can be applied in order to kill the process. Then third criteria can be applied in order to decide which process to be killed first. That is what? Maximum number of resource holding process. What? Maximum number of resource holding process means if there are the two process P1 and the P2, P1 is holding how many resources? 20, and P2 is holding the how many resources? 10. Then which one to be killed first? P1 should be get killed first because it is holding the maximum number of resources, and if you kill the P1, the 20 resources can be released, and because of that deadlock can be get recovered as compared with the 10 resources here. So maximum resources can be get released if you kill the P1 first. Okay. Fourth criteria can be applied to kill or to decide which process should be killed first in case of the this first case, killing a single process at a time. So what is that? Maximum number of resources requested. That is what? Maximum number of resource requested. If there are the two process P1 and the P2, P1 has requested how many resources? 10. P2 has requested how many resources? 25. Then it is better to kill the P2 first because it has requested 25 resources as compared with the 10 resources requested by the P1. So with the help of these different criteria, the decision can be taken by the operating system to which process to be killed first in order to recover from the deadlock. Okay, that is the first case where operating system try to kill the single process at a time. So apart from that, second case is also there. Second solution is also there. That is what? Killing all the process which are involved in the deadlock. So this is not the suggestible and the practical approach, but it can be implemented if the deadlock is very serious in your computer system. So killing all process will lead to the inefficiency in the system, because if there are the 50 processes are running on your system which are come under the deadlock, now that 50 process might have completed their some of the work, and if you kill all the 50 process, then that all the 50 process has to be executed again by the operating system. So that will create the inefficiency in the system. So that is the reason killing all the process is the most rarely approach which is utilized by the operating system to get recover from the deadlock. Because of that, what will happen? System may go into the inefficiency situation. Okay. So killing a single process, that can be considered as a better approach as compared with the killing all the process at a time in order to recover from the deadlock. Okay. So that is the deadlock detection and the recovery part at the process level. Okay, that is the thing which you are discussing now at the process level. Now recovery can be done at the resource level also. So recovery can be done at the resource level also. That is for process for resources. Okay. So at the resource level also two approaches can be applied. One approach is what? Prim the resource, where what can be done? Where we can snatch in the sense forcefully taking the resource from the process. Okay, so prim the resource in the sense we can snatch one of the resource from the process and give it to the other resource with the expectation that it will complete the execution and will release their resources soon. So forcefully taking the resource from particular process. For example, there is a P1 process, and that P1 process resource R1 is allocated. Okay, and there is another process P2 which requiring that resource R1. So preempting the resource does what? Preempting the resource, take this resource R1 forcefully from the P1 and give it to the P2. So that is the one of the way of recovering from the deadlock. That is what? Preempting the resource. Okay. Now here it is difficult to decide, okay, which resource to be choose, okay, while forcefully taking the resource from the particular process. But preempting the resource can give us the solution regarding the recovery from the deadlock. Okay. And second approach at the resource level that can be applied, that is a rollback to the safe state. Okay, because what happened, our computer system, whenever in the computer system certain process get created, so in that case our system goes through the different stages. Our system pass through the different states. Okay, whenever system goes into the deadlock state, system never directly go into the deadlock state. Before that, system comes from the different states. Okay, like here you can see the state one, state two, state three, and in the state four, for example, system goes into the deadlock state. So before the fourth state where system goes into deadlock state, there are the other states also. Understood? So state two, state three, or state one, they might be considered as a safe state. So system pass through the various state to go into the before it goes into the deadlock state. Okay. So the operating system can roll back the system to the previous state. If you consider system state 3 is a safe state, and the system has goes into the deadlock state in the fourth state, then operating system can apply the approach where it roll back the state from the fourth state to the third state. Here I have mentioned the operating system can roll back the system to the previous state, that is the safe state, that is the third. If you consider the third state as a safe state, then operating system can roll back. Roll back means just go back to the previous state. So operating system can roll back the system to the previous state, that is the safe state. So for this purpose, operating system need to do the checking at the different state. Every state operating system has to check whether state 1 is the safe state, whether state 2 is the safe state, like that. Understood? And the moment operating system find the system is in the deadlock, then operating system can roll back, okay, and go into the previous state, which is being considered as a safe state. So that is the second approach at the resource level. That is nothing but roll back to the safe state or go back to the safe state from the deadlock state, so that system can recover from the deadlock. So that is all about the deadlock detection and the recovery, which is nothing but our third approach, related with the deadlock handling strategies. So third approach that we have discussed, that is what? Deadlock detection and the recovery. That is what? Deadlock detection and the recovery. Okay. So here, third deadlock handling strategy we have discussed now. Okay. Now fourth deadlock handling strategy we have to discuss, that is the deadlock ignorance. And this is the most practical approach which is being utilized in the common computer users. Okay, common computer users in the sense the computer users like our students and teachers who use the computer system in the educational institute, or the computer system which is being utilized in the different shop, medical. Okay, where the computer system is being just utilized for the browsing purpose and to do the normal operation calculation purpose. For example, in the educational institute, we utilize the computer to do the programming, to learn the programming, etc., etc. So deadlock ignorance is the most practical approach which is utilized in the which is the most practical approach utilized by the most of the end users of the computer system. So that is the reason it is here mentioned here. This is our fourth deadlock handling strategy. So deadlock ignorance means what? Let the deadlock occur. Don't worry even if the deadlock occur. That is the simple, straightforward strategy of deadlock ignorance. Same thing I have mentioned here. The deadlock ignorance is the most widely used approach among all the mechanism. This is being used by the many operating system for their end users. So Windows operating system, Linux operating system also utilize this approach. That is what? Deadlock ignorance approach. Okay. So in this approach, the operating system assume that deadlock will never occur. What? Here the operating system designer like Windows and the Linux, they have considered that deadlock will never occur. And even if the deadlock occur, the end user can simply ignore the deadlock. That is the simple approach here. Okay. So this is the best approach suitable for the single and end user system, where user utilize the system only for the browsing and all other normal stuff that I already told you. Okay. So general users of the computer never has to worry about the deadlock. Understood? Because even if the deadlock occurs in our system, we don't have to worry about it, because it is not going to harm, or it is not going to do any major effect on the working of the computer. Okay, or it is not going to do any kind of loss of the end users of the computer, because we all doing the normal operation on the computers. Okay. Now in case of our normal users, when you have experienced such kind of things, like number of times we must have experienced the thing, like when you are working with the computer, at certain situation computer stop working, means even if you click at some position it doesn't get click, even if you try to close the some files never get closed. Okay, so means your system get completely hanged. What happened? Your system get completely hanged That is nothing but the situation of our deadlock in case of the general users of the computer. Understood? Now in that case, what you do when your system get completely hang, not getting click anywhere, not getting not even the you cannot able to close any files, folders, or even you are not able to close any window. Understood? Then in that case, what you do? You just do what? You just simply restart your system. And that is nothing but the simple approach of deadlock ignorance. What you do? What you do when your system doesn't work? Means not getting click anywhere, nothing is happening. In that case, what you do? You just simply restart the system. So that is nothing but the simple approach of what? Deadlock ignorance. And that is the suggested approach by the Windows operating system and the Linux operating system related with the normal users, that don't they need they there is a no need to worry about the deadlock, even if it occur in your system. Understood? Understood. So in case of the normal users, the generally deadlock occurs one time out of the 100 times. Okay, how many times? One times out of the 100 times. And for that one time, it is not necessary to handle the deadlock mechanism or to apply the deadlock mechanism that we have discussed, like deadlock prevention, deadlock avoidance, deadlock detection. So no need to apply this kind of approach when the deadlock occurs in case of the general users of the computer. Understood? Because generally that kind of hanging situation of computers comes in the life of our normal users of the computer. It is very rare. It occurs very rarely. Understood? Just I said, just it is mentioned here, one out of the 100 times. Okay, one out of the 100 times. Understood? And and for that one out of the 100 times, if you try to apply this deadlock handling mechanism like deadlock prevention, avoidance, by applying different algorithms, then what happen? Because of that, the performance of the system get decreases. Okay, if we apply the deadlock mechanism all the time, if deadlock happens one of the 100 times. Understood? So that is completely unnecessary to use the deadlock handling mechanism all the time. Okay, so that kind of mechanism can be applied. Which kind of mechanism? Deadlock prevention, deadlock avoidance, deadlock detection and recovery. So that mechanism can be applied when the computer system is being utilized for the some sensitive work. Okay, for in case of the real time operating system. So in that case, this mechanism of deadlock handling can be applied, like deadlock prevention, deadlock avoidance, deadlock detection, recovery. So that three mechanism can be applied for that kind of system. But in case of the normal users of the computer, because in the world the computer system normally get utilized by the normal users, 90% of normal users, computer system get utilized by the 90% of normal users, which are doing the normal stuff on the computer, normal work on the computer, like browsing the different sites, doing the calculation, etc, etc. Okay, so for this kind of work, there is a no need to apply the deadlock handling mechanisms. Like which mechanism? Deadlock prevention, deadlock avoidance, deadlock detection and the recovery. Because in order to apply these mechanisms, you have to spend a lot of the money. Understood? You have to spend a lot of the money. These are the costly approach. These are the costly deadlock handling mechanisms. Okay, there is a need to apply the complex algorithms. Understood? So in case of the normal users, when the deadlock occurs, your system get hang completely. In this type of system, the users has to simply restart the computer in case of the deadlock, as I said. So you just simply restart the computer, and then your computer can get you can get your computer work in the normal way. So this approach, so this which approach? Deadlock avoidance approach is normally suggested by the Windows and the Linux operating system for the normal users. Okay, so this strategy involves ignoring the concept of deadlock and assuming that it has not occurred. So simply ignore it by doing what? Simply ignore it by doing restarting the computer. Understood? So this strategy help to avoid the extra overhead of handling the deadlock. So this strategy avoid to apply that kind of mechanism that we have discussed. First, deadlock prevention. Second, deadlock avoidance. And third, deadlock detection and the recovery. No need to apply such kind of mechanisms for handling deadlock when the deadlock occurs in the computer system which is utilized by the normal users. Understood? So Windows and the Linux uses this strategy, and it is the mostly widely used method. And this is also called as the ostrich approach. What is this ostrich approach? Ostrich approach is what? Let the things happen. Means what? Let the deadlock happens. We are not going to handle the deadlock. We are just going to do what? We are just going to ignore it by restarting the computer. Understood? Because restarting the computer is not going to harm it is not going to affect on the normal users. It is just simply take the some number of minutes. Yes or no? It will just simply take this 1 or 2 minutes to restart the computer, and then everything will be the normal. Okay, so that is this approach of ignoring something. What? Ignoring something in the sense, let the thing let it happens. Let it happen whatever the bad is happening. Understood? So that is the simple approach of deadlock ignorance. Understood? So generally it is being technically referred as the ostrich approach. Okay. So that is the fourth and important approach, that is the deadlock ignorance, where what we are imagining or what we are pretending that there is a no problem. System got hang, means deadlock has occurred, there is a no problem. Okay, we can just restart the system and everything will work as a normal. Okay. So this is the easiest way to deal with the deadlock problem. Okay, so this algorithm says that, or this approach says that, stick your head in the stand and pretend there is a no problem. Means, so that is called as the ostrich approach. Stick your head in the sand in the sense, so sticking your head in the sand in the sense, आपण sandला मराठीमध्ये वाळू म्हणतो. म्हणजे वाळूमध्ये डोकं घालून ठेवा. आता वाळूमध्ये डोकं घातल्यानंतर तुम्हाला माहिती आहे की आपल्या डोळ्यामध्ये वाळू जाऊ शकते. स्टील स्टील यू हॅव टू इमॅजिन दॅट, जरी तुम्ही वाळूमध्ये डोकं घालून ठेवलं तरी तुम्हाला इमॅजिन काय करायचंय, काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही. नथिंग इज हॅपनिंग बॅड विथ यू. अंडरस्टूड? सो दॅट इज अप्रोच, मीन्स यू आर इग्नोरिंग दॅट problem there. So same approach is applied here. Okay, same approach is applied here. That is the avoid the deadlock. Sorry, ignore the deadlock. So this strategy suggests to ignore the deadlock because deadlock occurs very rarely. कधीतरी डेडलॉक ऑकर होतो. नॉर्मल युजरच्या बाबतीत डेडलॉक कधीतरी ऑकर होतो. ओके, वन ऑफ द 100 टाइम, one out of 100 times or one of the 1000 times. Understood? So this strategy suggests to ignore the deadlock because deadlock occurs rarely, but the system get crashes because of the number of other reasons like hardware failure, complex error, operating system bugs, etc., etc. Understood? So even this approach says that even if the deadlock occur, even if your system get hang, do not, there is no need to worry about that. You need not to do the any panic about that. You just simply do what? Ignore it by restarting the computer. Understood? And this is the last point I am going to explain you why this strategy is considered as a good strategy out of the all the strategies. Why this strategy considered as a good or reasonable strategy? Reason behind that, what? Deadlock occurs very rarely. म्हणजे कधीतरी डेडलॉक ऑकर होतो. कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रिव्हेन्शन इज व्हेरी हाय. म्हणजे काय, जर तुम्ही त्या, इफ यू ट्राय टू अप्लाय द्या 3 strategy which deadlock prevention, deadlock avoidance, deadlock detection and the recovery, if you try to apply these strategies, the cost of applying this strategy is very high. Time required to apply this strategy also very high. Understood? Another important reason for applying the deadlock ignorance strategy is what? It is being recommended by the popular operating system making companies. Unix and the Windows are suggesting this kind of approach. That is what? Avoiding ignoring the deadlocks. Okay. So another reason is what? Deadlock in case of the modern computer system occurs very rarely because resources are available plentifully. Resources are available plentiful in the sense, now RAM is available in very high amount, CPU available in a very high configuration, disk space is also available in the high amount. So generally deadlock occurs rarely in case of the modern computer system. So deadlocks over such resources are rarely occur. Deadlock typically handled by the rebooting the computer. Rebooting in the sense, simply restarting the computer, you can easily handle the deadlock instead of applying these costly strategies, which is not required in case of the normal users of the computer. This strategy can be applied in case of computers where the computer is doing the sensitive processing or sensitive work. Understood? So that is all about the deadlock handling strategies. Okay. So all the four strategy we have finished now. Okay. First was the deadlock prevention, deadlock avoidance. Second, third, deadlock detection recovery, and the fourth, deadlock ignorance. Which strategy the normal users like us are following? And like us, 90% users of the computers following this strategy. That's the deadlock ignorance. These three strategies are very costly to apply. These are very complex to apply. That is the reason this strategy rarely get utilized. And where it is get utilized, where the sensitive work is get carried out, where missing a single instance, missing a single minute while processing is also the very also the very wastage of time. Is missing a single minute of processing by the computer is also considered as a very wasteful of time. Then in that case, these kind of approaches can be applied to handle the deadlock. But in case of the normal users, this approach is very good. Okay, that's we have already discussed. So that is all about the deadlock handling strategies. Okay, I hope all of you have understood this part. And if you have any doubt, you can comment in the comment section. Okay, thank you all of you.